So today's video is going to be an introduction to MidJourney, one of the best and most advanced image generation artificial intelligences. There are other artificial intelligences like Stable Diffusion, DALL-E, etc. But today's video, we're going to focus specifically on using MidJourney. So think about this as MidJourney for beginners. Let's go. So first you need to go to midjourney.com. And then for MidJourney, this is what the homepage looks like. So you'd have to join the beta, which would essentially take you to Discord. If you already have a Discord account, you can sign in. But for now, let's join the beta so that it can take us to Discord. Now, for those who are not familiar with Discord, Discord is another sort of social media-like platform, but think of it more as a community development platform. So a lot of people use it to set up communities for gaming, communities for crypto, communities for all sorts of things, music, art, etc. And it's currently one of the biggest social media platforms. It's just that it's not very well known outside of the more technological space. All right, so to get started with MidJourney, you should create a username. Just call it Solomon Mid Demo for now. It's going to ask us to create an account, asking us if we're a human. So it's asking me for a birthday. Obviously, I'm not going to put in my real birthday. Let's just pick an abstract number, 95. You can claim an account, but let me see if it will allow me to close this and continue signing up. Okay, so that means that later I can go back and claim that account. That's fine. So the minute you open up, the minute you complete this process, please make sure that you finish this so that you can actually have this account registered in your names and with your email. So this is the MidJourney server. Think of a server as a community of people that are collected under one idea or one sort of group or community. In this case, this is the MidJourney server, which currently has 873,000 people online, and it has 7.98 million members. As soon as you log into here, it will show you like highlights. This is what other people are doing. So this is an amazing AI generated image of the Joker, Spider-Man, and all these are generated by people within MidJourney. Just dismiss a bunch of these, lots of things that you need to get started with. Now on the left, you will find your servers. You can add your own server. I just want to dismiss that. Now we're in the MidJourney server, so it shows that this is the one that's highlighted. I can create my own server and invite people, which means I want to create a small community of people around an idea or project. I can add that, and as you add or join new servers, more and more of them will appear on the site. Inside the MidJourney server, you will see this little drop down that allows you to invite people. You can see all the different channels within that server, which has like different sections of communication. You can determine your privacy, or you can choose to leave it. Leaving a server is essentially like leaving that community. So currently we are in MidJourney and we are navigating the channels. So the channels are basically little sections of communication. You have an announcements channel. This is where all the announcements are being made. These announcements are being written by moderators and administrators of the Discord server, of the MidJourney server. And these are messages from them, and all these little emojis that you will see are users reacting. So 4,500 people have given it the heart emoji in reaction to this message. 2 have given it a thumbs up. We can also add our own thumbs up. 1 has shown the Indian flag. Let's just support that, etc. There's a whole bunch of rules. Again, feel free to go around this. And then now we have the get started, and this getting started will give you a rough idea of how you can get started, with using MidJourney. So they tell you to go to the newbie bot channels. So MidJourney itself is generally a bot or a robot that you give instructions, and then it returns images based on your instructions. So you go to one of these channels. They're right here. Right now there's newbie 113, newbie 143, newbie 173. You can go into one of those, but I'll show you how to navigate a bit better later. Then you type imagine and then whatever you want. Then the bot will send you 4 images in 40 seconds. And then you can either choose to upscale or get variations. I'll explain what all of this means later. So this currently we're on a trial because this is a new MidJourney account. Once your trial membership ends, it will ask you to create an account. And those accounts have sort of limitations on how many images you can generate. We'll take a look at those later. So let's jump straight into this, right? So when you go to one of these channels, it will show you what people are doing. Now, all of this is very public. This is what the rest of the world is creating. So MidJourney by default makes all of your creations public unless you choose to have them saved as private. And I think you probably need to pay for that. Yeah, so this is someone's imaginings. You can open this in the browser so that it shows you a larger picture. And again, these are user-generated images. As you can see, wow, this looks horrible. Yeah, that looks bad. But this is AI-generated images, and we'll look at different ways to clean it up a little bit later. Yeah, so these are images that have been generated. I see someone here is doing a Google tag logo. So every single image that you have, that you see, actually has someone has written a prompt for it. So a prompt is sort of like a series of instructions in which you give the AI instructions and tell it what to create. So all of these are different prompts. So the prompt for this is black metal singer. So this user called Nightcrawler has given the prompt to the AI to create an image of a black metal singer, and these are the images that it has created. This user called Tribu Legado has given a prompt for a teenage girl sitting on the grass underneath the branches of a tree reading a book, and they've asked you to render it in 4K with an aspect ratio of 2:3. So 2:3 means that it's vertical, sort of like a portrait mode. This person just shared an image. I think they were trying to create a special type of prompt. Let's get started. I like to jump straight into things. So let's just go straight to the bottom. It's always better to scroll all the way to the bottom so that you can see what it's saying, what it's doing. And as you can see, as you keep walking, you're going to see that a lot of images keep popping up, and that's just different people doing different things. So let's start our prompt with imagine, and let's keep it simple. Let's do this again. So I do /imagine, and then I press tab or I press enter, and then it will ask me, what's your prompt? So I'm going to say a boy standing near a tree. Let's keep it simple for now. So I haven't accepted the terms of service. So as things keep flying by, because this is a shared channel, everyone is typing their own things, you need to look for the highlighted message. That is your message. That's a message being sent to you. So in this case, we are saying that before we can continue, it's saying that before we can continue, we need to accept the terms of service. So let's accept these terms of service. Okay, so it sent me a message again. We're excited to have you. To create images, go to a channel with a bot or newbies, type imagine, and then it's giving you other guides and docs. Let's just jump straight into it. Imagine. A boy standing next to a tree. Let's keep it simple. So things are going to be flying all over the place. Lots of people are doing lots of things. And at first it can be very frustrating as you see messages flying back and forth. The great thing is that if you find your message, you can scroll to it and just wait there. It won't scroll upwards unless you're at the very bottom of the screen. And then you'll see that all these are messages being generated. So in the time that I've been talking, it's generated 17, 18 new messages. So it's very busy. But ours is being generated here, and it shows you the percentage and the speed. So this fast or slow is basically a setting in which you tell it that you want your images generated faster or slower. Now, you've seen that my image has disappeared, which means that it's already done with it. So I need to go down to the bottom to find my image, and then I look for my highlighted message. So that's it. This is my prompt. The prompt was a boy standing next to a tree. And when I click this, look at that. That's absolutely incredible. This is MidJourney. I don't know what version this is, but I will edit that setting to give us version 4 so that we are more clear about what that version is. So yes, this is an image based on the prompt that I've given, a very simple prompt, a boy standing next to a tree. It's given me 4 variations, and I can choose to open this in a browser so that I get a larger image. So clicking this open in browser gives you a higher resolution version of this. All right, so here you have your first artificial intelligence generated image based on MidJourney. You can see the details. Some of the details look incredibly good, but then when you look at the faces and the hands, it just looks absolutely horrible. So we are going to change our prompt to allow us to use the most recent version of MidJourney. So let's just get the same prompt, copy and paste that. This is our current image is most likely using maybe version 2 or 3, I'm not so sure. But if we do imagine, put that same prompt and then do --v space 4, then we are explicitly telling MidJourney to use version 4, which has incredibly amazing results, as you're going to see. We press enter. So it will tell you it's waiting to start. So let's just scroll to our image so that we keep track of it. It's at 0%, and it's being created using the fast setting. Now, you need to be really, really patient, but also you need to be really careful. You have a certain amount of credits or rendering hours, and it's very, very easy to run out of the rendering hours very, very quickly. So these are our image. This is our image in the process of being rendered. It's at 93%. And then it's done, but it's been sent to the bottom. So we scroll, look for the highlighted message, and there we are. Yeah, so it looks like it was using version 4 by default, because I don't see much of a change in terms of facial expressions and in terms of quality. But artificial intelligence art has all sorts of issues, especially with the hands and faces, and there are ways you can get around that. So sometimes people use things like super detailed, good faces, etc. So let us, as this loads, let us copy the same prompt, and then we're going to say things like a hyper-realistic portrait photo of a boy standing next to a tree. Now you'll begin seeing that when you add certain words, MidJourney sort of pays more attention to it. Let's say things like super real. So MidJourney starts paying attention to it. So as that renders, look at that. So it's sort of given me the same, I can see that like the tree is sort of the same in both scenarios, and the faces are just as horrible. But it's a start. This is MidJourney AI creating accurate images, and you're going to see that it's going to get really, really amazing as we proceed. But let's go back to our image. There we go. You see that that face looks significantly better already, and it's just at 62%. Look at that, right? So you see the huge difference just by telling it to create hyper-realistic photo, etc. It has given us a significant change in detail from these sort of weird faces, this sort of very generic tree outline, and now it's giving us this because we've asked it to give us a portrait. And isn't this absolutely incredible that this is an image that has been generated by an artificial intelligence purely from prompts that we've given it? All right. So we'll do one other thing before we skip over to, we are still in Discord, so we're going to skip over to the MidJourney website in a second. But for now, let's just look at these buttons here. This button will refresh or recreate this image. Now, MidJourney will never give you the exact same image. It will, because of how it works, it's based on a background of noise. It will always generate a fresh image. However, what you can do is tell it to regenerate a fresh set of 4 images by clicking this button. These U buttons mean upscale, which basically is you're basically telling it, I want a higher quality version of that. Please render a higher quality version on its own. The V's mean variations. So I can tell it, give me 4 more variations of the one at the bottom or 4 more variations of this. So if I say V1, it will be variations of image 1. If I say V2, variations of image 2. If I say V4, variations of image 4. If I say U3, it will upscale image 3. So let's give it a shot. I like this one, and I want to see variations of this. So I want to upscale 1, and I want to do variations of 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So I'm going to upscale image 1, and then it will send that command. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Okay, so sometimes the servers get overwhelmed and it might give you errors. So now somewhere at the bottom, it's creating an upscaled version of 1, but I also want it to give me variations of 3. So then we click V3. And then now we have to go and find our images. So this is the problem with generating images in the general chat. I go look for the highlighted message, and now it's saying Hyperrealistic Portrait Upscaling. So that's happening. Then here it's giving variations of 3. So it's done. So you see that it has given me 3 different versions of this particular image that I liked. So as you can see, the leaves are in different positions. The boy's hairstyle is in different positions. The tree decoration on his shirt looks completely different. His hand posture, the type of his jeans, there are all these little subtle variations. Even in the brickwork, there are different variations. So let's just open that in a browser. And then let's go back and look for the other image that it created. So this used to be really frustrating for me until I realized that there's a better way to do this without entering into the chaos of what everyone else is doing. So if you're doing this for the first time, it can be really frustrating because now I'm trying to find that image. So if you scroll like this, just keep scrolling and looking for this highlight. That's where your image will be, and then you can scroll backwards. All right, so there it is. So this is an upscale of 4 of image 1. So it has given me a much higher quality. So I can redo the upscale with all these variations. I can ask it to make additional variations of this. But let's go look at the images. So first we started with this, very generic. We didn't give any specific descriptors, and this is the image that it gave out. And then we decided to try another variation with V4. It gave us the really same horrible results. And then we decided to be a little bit more descriptive, and then it gave us this. So this was the first set of images that we got. Really brilliant portraits. I love that there are no deformities in the faces or in the mouth. Sometimes you end up seeing a lot of artifacts as you continue creating, but you just have to learn how to navigate around some of this. And so I asked it to give me variations of this image, and then it gave me those. And then I asked it to upscale this image, and then it gave me that. So the thing with upscaling is that sometimes it will enhance the detail and might change a few things. So let me see if I can notice. Yeah, like you notice the pattern of the trees, the texture on the trees is not the same here, but the patterns are different. Even the leaves in the background, that's a whole different leaf style compared to this. You can also see that I think, what else? Yeah, his hairstyle has also changed. You can see that this has a lot more fluff and less definition, whereas this one looked like it had more kink to it. So at this point, you have learned how to use MidJourney. You can go ahead and knock yourself out. But like I mentioned, you're going to run a lot of credits. So MidJourney is not free. It has a trial version. And if you use it recklessly, you can actually end up using a lot of credits very, very quickly. So this is Discord. Let us jump into MidJourney. We haven't looked through our accounts. We came here, we clicked on join the beta, and then it took us to Discord and we started using MidJourney. But in here, we can actually see our account. So let's sign in. And because we're still signed into Discord, it's going to use our Discord account to sign in. And I hope it doesn't ask us for an email. Yeah, so it's going to ask us to authorize the MidJourney bot. It keeps doing this even though we had already authorized it by... Okay, so I have to go and verify my email. This is what I was afraid of, but it's no big deal. So let's claim the account. I am going to pause here so that I can claim my account. Okay, so it's asking me if I want to download the desktop app. I'm not interested in doing that at this moment. So let's close that, and then I'm going to go to my account and then verify it, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so my email address is verified, which means I can now continue Discord, which also means that I can sign in with Discord, and this should start working now. We authorize again. So this is my MidJourney page, and it basically keeps a record of every single image that I've generated in the Discord server. It will include all the images that I have created variations for, images that I have upscaled. Every single thing that I've done is here, and it's public. So anyone who wants to view my profile can come to this profile and see all the shenanigans that I've been up to. When you click on an image, it can allow you to save or to bookmark it in case it's not yours, or you can actually copy the full command that was used to create this image, or just the prompt that was used to create this image, or you can copy the job ID. You can also choose to open it in a new tab. If I open it in a new tab, it will pull up the same image in a new tab. If I choose to open it in Discord, it will open Discord and then take me to that place where that image was generated, which means that it will allow me to scroll through all the nonsense that you saw earlier and take me straight to that section in which I generated my image. So as you can see here, it has taken me to that section. But yeah, so that's it. You can also, within MidJourney, you can also go to the community and see what people are doing. And this is where it's like really incredible. Look at these images. You know, this is what people are doing. And because everything is public, you can actually say, oh, I like this style, I like this style, I like this image, so let me create a variation. So let's take a look at this. I like this. Let me see if it will give me a variation of this. So if I click on this, ideally it should be allowing me, or maybe because I'm on a trial version. Okay, so there's some limitations, it seems. So maybe I can cheat by just copying this. But I thought it would allow me to, it looks like in order to copy this, you need to be a subscriber. So let's try and just copy that prompt and see what it gives us. So we're going to, so this is sort of like cheating. We're going to copy this. Now prompts can be much longer than this. So you might find that this is just a small piece of the prompt. Most people's prompts can be really long, but let's see what that prompt gives. So we can jump to the present and then say imagine, press enter, do that, and say V4 so that it gives us a version 4 render, and let's see what it creates. So this is a good example of a really long prompt. And so if you don't have a paid subscription, you might just see just the first few lines, not knowing that it's a really extensive prompt. So yeah, you can see that my version, okay, so it's at 62%. Let's see. If I'm lucky, it will give me a very detailed version like the person that I copied it from. Okay, so it's not so bad. So it's given me something similar. This one is a painting on a blackboard. This is an actual sort of like a photograph, etc. So you can, tweak that. But the point that I'm trying to make is that you can actually copy people's prompts and then tweak them according to how you want yours to be. So for example, I like this. So I'm going to say I'm going to copy this digital art painting inspired by Amy Saul. There is a significant amount of contention around this whole inspired by, because the entire essence of how this AI generated art is created is that it's being generated from a data set of literally billions of images. And some of these images have been stolen from artists, and they're being essentially trained. The AI is being essentially trained on stolen art. So there's a lot of uproar about how, you know, people are saying inspired by this, but when you look at it, it's actually an almost exact replica of that artist's style, and that's really frustrating for a lot of artists. So I'm not going to do that. Let me actually do something a little bit different. This, I don't think this is a style. It's a comic book panel. Let me see. Again, this is another one in the style of Gynex. So there are a lot of artists whose work is, you know, is being copied. These two, Anna Dittman, Yoshi Shinkawa, etc. Let's modify our image a little bit. And I'm going to show you a better way of actually using MidJourney without having to wade through every single person's prompt. So I'm going to go to the MidJourney bot, this, and then I'm going to right click and message. So you can actually go into private messages with the bot, and then that will allow you to give prompts directly without seeing all the, you know, all the other stuff that other people are doing. Now you might find that you're unable to generate a message. Let's see if something happens for us here. So let's say imagine a watercolor illustration of a cat sitting near a pond, a small tree growing it, and then we tell it use version 4. So this is the error that I mentioned. So it's told me that I'm not allowed to do DMs. Oh God. Free trial users are not allowed to DM the MidJourney bot. I'm not going to do I'll switch over to my paid account momentarily so that we can see how this goes. But let's look at what the packages have. So they're basically pushing us to pay for this. And if you go to manage sub, then you'll see where you are. So right now it tells you to purchase a subscription. You can choose monthly billing so that you pay on a month to month, or you can choose yearly billing where you bill annually, but then you get discounts. So if you bill annually, the basic plan, let's do monthly billing. If you do monthly billing, your basic plan gives you 200 images per month. As you can see, we've already generated almost a dozen images. So these 200 images go really, really fast. And then it gives you general commercial term. For this, you can use it in commercial work if you want. And then it gives you access to the member gallery, and then you can do credit top-ups. Now, where the hours start coming in, these are like the first generation hours. So the way MidJourney works is that you can tell it to generate in fast mode or in slow mode. And slow mode essentially means that you're not really in a hurry for these images to come out. So whenever they come out, you come back and check them. Fast mode basically means you want to see them now. And if you notice, you'll see here things like fast, slow, etc. And that's basically setting that determines how quickly you want your results. So you can choose fast hours or slow hours, and using slow hours means you can generate a lot more images without using a lot of your credits. But using fast means that you're actually using a lot of server resources, so they sort of penalize you for that for a cost. And then the other thing is that you have unlimited relaxed generations, which means that if you're not using fast mode, you can generate as many as you want. If you're using fast generation, if you're using fast speed, then you have about 15 hours of time. Now, this 15 hours is not time being counted on your end. It's the number of hours that are being used by the server to generate your content. So if your image is generated in like 60 seconds, those 60 seconds will count towards your first generation. It is not that the time that you're spending writing all these prompts, generating these images will be computed against that. No, it's actually the time when your images are being created on the server side. So don't worry too much about how much time you spend within Discord or MidJourney. That really isn't the issue. The issue is that once you hit enter and then the image starts processing, that's when the hours begin counting up. Then for the Pro plan, you $60 a month. This is, of course, when you want more fast generation hours. You have probably a whole bunch of services that you want to do. You're like a pro user. It has this stealth image generation, I think, which basically means that if you use it, then your content is not visible in the public server, in the public community showcase, I think. I'm not so sure. I don't have that kind of money. So yeah, this is a crash course on MidJourney. There's so much stuff that you can do that we'll take a look at later. In some of my videos, I've explained how to use logos, how to generate all types of different content. Let's do the watercolor. So let's do Imagine a watercolor illustration of a cat sitting near a pond with a small tree growing next to it, and we're going to choose version 4. Let's see how that looks. Okay, it's giving me an error because I didn't do the parameters correctly. So Imagine, you will get a lot of those, and you'll get the hang of it. Don't worry, this stuff takes time. You'll get used to it. So what I needed to do was do V space 4. It's also really nice to see what other people are up to. This is a photograph, but it's nice to see what images people are generating. And as you can see that some of these are really new people, you can tell that the quality of their work hasn't really caught up. But the more refined you get with using MidJourney, the more incredible your outcomes can be. All right, so our image is being generated at 62%, and it's done. So we'll scroll to the bottom and look at that, right? This is exactly what we described, a watercolor illustration of a cat sitting near a pond with a small tree growing next to it. This looks amazing. I mean, you can see why people like to use the commercial versions, because I can actually print this and hang it on a wall or sell it. Yeah, so let's jump very quickly to my account, and then I'll show you what it's like to communicate directly with the MidJourney robot. So it turns out that I was not recording the right window, but this was the prompt for the two lovers in France at the Eiffel Tower. Let me do that again. So we are going to imagine two lovers in Paris with the sunset over the Eiffel Tower, La Tour Eiffel, and it already has my V4 applied etc. So I'll not go into those details. I'll go through them in another video. I want to say photorealistic portrait of two lovers, blah blah blah, because I did not like the initial version that it gave with this. I mean, it looks very stylized, but I want to see a photorealistic version. But this still looks pretty awesome. So yeah, as you notice, I am generating images and I am not really fighting with other people to see whose image is where. And this is all the work that I've generated for different YouTube videos that I'm working on, etc. But all this is my DMs with the robot, basically, as opposed to the public space that I was on previously. So yeah, there you go. Not as photorealistic except for this one, but generally this is it. You have two lovers in front of the Eiffel Tower in Paris, supposedly, with the sunset in the background. And yeah, that's it. You now know how to use MidJourney. In another video, we'll take a look at how you can generate all sorts of very, very interesting styles by manipulating how the prompts are given or how the instructions are given. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share these videos, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.